specific lumen in your building will actually make people spend more money and stay longer. That's what we're aiming for. Background is in sales and business development. Organizational leadership was part of my education. Building culture and building teams is something I pride myself on. And something clicked in my mind, like, what do we want to name this? What would we name this? How would we make this ours? I always get emotional every time I talk about this. The name popped in my head, the Maze Tavern.
Well, hello and welcome back to Be Life Changers. I am Kathy Coach, your host. Today we're sitting down with Denny Perdue, owner of Maze Tavern in Westport. If you've ever walked into Maze Tavern, you know it's much more than a place to grab a meal or a drink. It's where people come together to connect, celebrate, and build community for sure. We recently helped with an incredible Juneteenth social at Maze Tavern featuring a few local vendors, live music, jazz, whiskey tasting, amazing food, and an atmosphere that was truly brought people together. Today, we're talking about their story behind Maze Tavern and Denny's heart for community and why gathering around a table still matters, because building community, I believe, is one table at a time. So, Denny, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thanks,
I'm so
Kathy.
excited to have you today. We're here at JT Visuals, and as you see, it's blinged out in my colors. So now you get to really know the true me, I suppose. I mean, get to know me just a little bit more. I've had the pleasure of meeting you, and I just love your heart for the community, and that's why I had you on the show, because I think everyone needs to know your story. So thank you for coming today.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to share.
Yes, awesome. So let's dive right in today and tell me just a little bit more about yourself, because I mean, I've got to know you a little bit, but I want my audience to know you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a number of layers with all of this. So I have been a natural entertainer for a long time, and I've done a lot of different things, from DJing to production to playing drums. We have a group that comes in the fourth Wednesday of every month, and it's a jam session. And I jumped on the drums like 2 months ago, and everybody's like, "What? You play drums?" I'm like, "Yeah, I play drums." So it's not something I advertise. But so, yeah, there's a lot of layers. I consider myself kind of a sweet onion, I guess you could say, because you have to peel everything back. And so I've been a business owner. I've been, like I said, in production. We still own our own business for private weddings and events and or private events. And we still do a lot of fundraisers and stuff like that too. So everything we do, from Maze Tavern to the secondary business, is all about community. And so there's a lot there to unpack. Depends on how deep you want to go today.
Oh, all right. Well, I love that. I knew we had a connection right away. Because we love helping people, we love serving our community and making a place for them to come together. Because I think that's super important now, is for a place where people can come together.
Right.
And so tell me, what was your journey before opening Maze Tavern? So you said a little bit about the industry of events and stuff. Tell me just a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so my wife and I have owned our own company called Perdue Collective for a little over 10 years now. She has been a planner in the industry, from weddings to corporate events. And then I've ran an entertainment company, managed a big entertainment company out of Springfield, and came into Kansas City, and so I helped develop that. Left that company in 2024 and really started kind of pushing into my own arena and my own things. And so the life before Maze, and still continues to be life during Maze, is a lot of different things. From NPR doing fundraisers for them, Missouri Pit Bull Rescue. I am on a board for Alzheimer's Do What You Love Foundation. So I like to volunteer and do a lot of different things for them. Hope Faith is another big group that I support once a year as an MC. And then there is another group from the wedding industry called Cheers and Charity. And so I MC that, and I help produce that and bring a lot of the audio, the visual parts of that into play. So that's one portion of the Perdue Collective where I'm helping create that. But then I'm also, I do a number of weddings throughout the year, usually about 10 or so. And then, a number of just little private events and stuff like that. So, and that could be anything from, doing a tailgate at the Chiefs Stadium, or a birthday party or, something
Right.
simple like that. So, if someone calls me and they need something, then, usually I can put something together and make it happen, or I have resources to do that as well. So there's a lot of really great companies
Right.
in town that I work with.
Awesome.
And so that's the life before Maze. My
Wow. That's
my background is in sales and
mhm.
business development. Organizational leadership was part of my education,
Okay.
and so building culture and building teams is something I pride myself on, and
Mhm.
that's what we're doing at Maze now.
Well,
So
that is so awesome because, I mean, that makes so much sense. I
yeah,
mean, because when you're a true entrepreneur at heart, I feel like there's always more than one hat.
yeah,
Like,
oh
it's
yeah,
like, "Oh, I got this, and now I'm gonna do this, and,
oh yeah,
oh, now we have Mae's Tavern." So it's like
yeah,
so let's talk about that, the story behind Mae's Tavern.
yeah.
So, how did that all come about and, the name Mae's Tavern come from?
S-
You're like,
So,
"Well"
honestly, it was kind of a Sunday fun day type of weird thing that happened back in August of last year. The owners that owned Maze at the time had purchased it from a friend of ours, and it was called the Press Penny at the time.
Okay.
We fell in love with that tavern because we just live up the street.
Mhm.
When we moved back to Kansas City in 2023, loved the building, loved the place, the staff, the people, just everything it was about. And then they sold. That was kind of sad. And so, anyways, we were there one afternoon with a friend of ours. We're all outside of the patio, just joking, having a good time, and we got to talking about like, what if we ever bought a bar?
Mhm.
And my friend asked me that. She's like, "What if would you ever think about buying a bar?" And my wife and I looked at each other like, "Yeah." And they're like, well, "Which one?" I'm like, "Well, this one. We really like this one." About that time, the GM at that
Oh,
point
wow.
walked past us and he was like, "Are y'all interested in buying a bar?" And we're like, "Well, I mean, I don't know, maybe if the price was right." It sounds like a great idea, and so it kind of blossomed from there for a little bit. Where we took about a month and had some conversations with ownership, talked through a few of the numbers, and then we kind of let it set for a minute. And then late September, early October, we had another conversation with the owners again. We got a little bit more serious on some of the details and some financing, some capital, just all the business type conversations, all the
Mhm.
things that went into it. Learned a lot through that process about liquor license and health department and the codes and all that because I had never owned a restaurant before. I've owned businesses, a self-starter business you can pull out of your garage is one thing, and an actual brick and mortar restaurant's
Oh.
completely different.
Oh, yes.
Um, so yeah, we got more in conversation, and early November, like things really started coming together.
Right.
Numbers were starting to align. We made an offer. They accepted that offer. And so my wife and I we were sitting at the bar one night. It was a Thursday night, and we're just having conversations about like, is this real? Are we
Mhm.
really going to do this? And just really kind of rummaging it through our head. And we were talking about names. We were talking about finances. We were talking about just attracting business, all those sorts of things. So everything was on the table. And something clicked in my mind, like, what do we want to name this? What would we name this? How would we make this ours?
Right.
And I always get emotional every time I talk about this.
Hmm.
The name popped in my head, the
Mhm.
Maze Tavern. Um, and then my head went to Grown Ups 2, where they were saying Maze, which is weird, but that's a joke. So, anyways, we were sitting there talking about it. I said May, and we both just started bawling.
Mhm.
There was like 40 people in the bar, and they were all looking at us super
Like,
weird. We're
what?
all crying at this little cocktail table, and anyways, so we just started kind of rummaging through that idea and really started mulling that over. And where does that come from? What does that mean? And so we both knew this. I mean, we've been married this year; it'll be 26 years. We
Oh,
both knew this.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we recognized it. We knew it, but we never really kind of put two and two together and did the math.
Mhm.
So my wife's grandmother's name was Lily Mae.
Mhm.
And then my mom's side, her name was Maybelle, and then my
Okay.
dad's mom was Odie Mae.
Oh, wow.
And so it was like this math moment where we're like, okay, this
Right.
makes sense, So Um, it really just made sense, and then the content and the information behind all of our grandparents
Mhm.
all made sense as well because and we have the story on our menu now. But Lily Mae was a waitress and in hospitality, and she loved serving people. She served people in her local church. She served people obviously in her job.
Mhm.
She was often found serving people in her neighborhood. They
Right.
lived in a very low income neighborhood. And so there
Mhm.
was oftentimes she would make food, she would take it to different people and help, you know.
Right.
My grandmother Maybell worked at Truman Medical Center
Okay.
down in Independence, the old building. It's
Mhm.
just doctor's offices now. But she worked there in the cafeteria and made pies and baked goods and stuff like that for the patients in the
Right.
hospital. And then my grandmother Odie Mae, she worked kind of in the same capacity, but was more on the hospitality side and more directing a lot of those things. And so she worked at North Kansas City Hospital. Everything about our grandmothers was all about and has been about hospitality and serving people and seeing people where they're at and trying to give back to them.
Mhm.
And that's been something that's embedded in our lives for years.
Right.
And that's the story behind Maze. That's what Maze should be. And I know it's kind of weird. It's a bar,
Mhm.
but it's so much more than that.
Oh, it's more than that. Most
Yeah,
definitely. You can feel it when you walk through the doors. The very first time that I came through, I could feel that. Like,
good.
I could feel that community
Yeah,
because even the events you host is all about community. It's about
yeah,
giving. And everything I've been to now since the
yeah,
first time I walked through the doors is the same thing from from the menu.
yeah.
Like it feels like home cooked food. Like,
Yes, yeah,
and it's like that thing that your grandma would bring to you.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The best of the best,
Mm-hmm.
which is not all bar foods. We'll just
Yeah,
say that.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
I am a foodie, so that means something. But there's not been a thing I've tasted that I have
Good.
not loved. The drinks are well put together, and everybody's so friendly when you walk in, you just feel like you're home.
Yeah.
And so you've done very well, and that is a perfect name. And
Thank
how
you.
how cool is that represents such what a legacy,
Yeah.
to pass on.
Yep.
And that
Yeah.
means something,
Yeah.
you know?
It's really powerful for us, and it's really powerful for us to bring that forward every time someone comes to the door. You know,
Mhm.
opening the door. We're privileged that guests come in, and we want them to come in and feel like this is that home away from home. You know, like look, I have friends that have really nice homes in bigger, more burbish,
Mhm.
if that's a word, areas of the city, and they have their own little bars downstairs. So they can go to the kitchen and then walk downstairs. Not everybody has that,
Mhm.
especially in our neighborhood area. It's a lot of bungalows and cottages and smaller homes on the
Mhm.
that Volker West Plaza area.
Mhm.
And so you don't have that space where you can just walk downstairs and grab a drink and hang out unless you have a lot of money, and maybe that's you, whatever, that's cool. But I think people are looking for not a dive bar, but a place that feels warm, kind of
Mhm.
like a dive bar does, if you will.
Right.
People like going to dive bars because it's low expectation.
Right.
It's usually good drinks, inexpensive,
Mhm.
or reasonable at least.
Right.
And so those are all attributes that we wanted to bring to the table that the Press Penny was, and then blend in this really great home type of feel and that
Mhm.
vibe, that family type of feel. So
Yeah, like that elevated
yeah,
dive bar.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I would say
exactly, yeah,
I would say definitely an elevated, dive bar
yeah,
because I mean, it is. I mean, it's not how you feel at home,
yeah,
but yet everybody's welcome,
yeah,
and that's what I love. I mean, because when
yeah,
you walk in, you see all kinds of people, and I love that.
yeah, yeah.
I
We
love
get a
that.
lot of different types of people in there. It's pretty fun.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but Joe, you got something on your chest.
When I failed my first 8 business, I chalked it up to a couple of things. Number one, I was very proud and I didn't learn how to build a business. But the second thing I realized is I didn't go to school for this.
And it's fun to try to figure things out and explore, but then there comes a point where you're like, wait, hold on. What are all the other successful business owners doing?
We've provided something for you if you feel the same exact way. We've provided Skool, Skool, entrepreneur experience where you can actually have free content and a community of people that are also in there that are entrepreneurs that love to give feedback and ask for feedback. If you don't feel like you have the resources enough to help you become successful, join our school.
It starts for free. So what are you waiting for? Go to jtvisuals.com/school. That's JTVisuals without the I, and that's school with a K.
Now back to the show.
One thing that stands out about May's Tavern, that doesn't feel like a restaurant or a bar. It feels like a gathering place. And that's what I would say, that elevated experience. I would like to say when I was thinking about it and going back for me going there, I feel like it feels like a gathering place where everybody gathers together.
Yeah.
What do you want people to feel when they walk into May's Tavern beyond community? What would you say?
We just had a conversation about this on Monday night with our team. I felt like it was really important to break down some of those attributes or the vision moments, those details. And so one of them is warmth. We want people to feel a warm vibe. That's why I was really big on keeping the wood, that warm vibe, that warm feel, the warm color of the wood. We darken the color of the walls to make that, again, kind of create that a little bit more dark. There's a psychology behind lighting that's really big on me, or big for me to make sure that the lighting is set properly in the room. Too much lighting actually creates a lot of anxiety. Too much creates too much sleepiness. There's a study out of, if I remember correctly, Harvard, and this is in regards to restaurants where a specific lumen in your building will actually make people spend more money and stay longer.
Right.
And so that's what we're aiming for, obviously. But we're also aiming for the more important part is that it is warm. It is that vibe. Generosity is another big thing. I want people to feel like this is a generous place. It's not a free place, obviously. We're not a non-for-profit. But I want people to come in and go, okay, not only the guests feel generous, hey, let me grab you a chair. I'm so sorry, let me move this that way or whatever. Or maybe it's just, if you ever walk into a busy bar and there's one seat between every two people,
Right.
That generous, very authentic type of feel where they get up and they're like, no, you can sit here. It's totally fine. And they just move over a little bit. Very comfortable, if you will.
Right.
Authentic is another one. I really want people to feel like when they walk in, it's not just someone behind the bar having to say hello to them. Instead, it is authentic. It's like, hey, welcome. We're excited you to be here. Please come in, grab a seat. I'll be right with you. We want that very authentic type of feel that breathes hospitality. And then that also, bleeds into genuine care. We want people to feel like we are genuine. Now, authenticity and genuine could kind of go hand in hand a little bit, but genuine means so much more. It really means that we are caring for people. It is an action. It's more than just service. It's not me just bringing you a drink, but it's bringing you a drink when you didn't know you needed it, right?
Right.
We're keeping an eye on, okay, they've been drinking water more over the last 5 minutes. So that may be their time to start to leave. Maybe they're on a timeline. And so we bring them a little bit more water, and it's just small touch points to figure out when to talk to people and not bug them.
Right.
So just that genuine care as if you were a guest in someone's home for a holiday weekend.
Right.
So those are really the 4 attributes that we want to try to bring forward at the bar, and we want people to hopefully feel that.
Well, I love that because I think people are craving that connection more now than ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I think by feeling special, we all want to be seen, because that's my hashtag, of course, with businesses to make sure they're seen, known, and remembered. But really, in reality, all people want to be seen.
Right.
They want to be known, and they want to be remembered. And I feel like that you guys are hitting it right on the head by making that experience happen when they walk in the door or when they come back, knowing those little things like, oh, I know that you like
remembering their name
or what drink's their favorite or did you want one of those today? Or
even more like remembering a conversation.
Yes.
Like it's one thing to remember your name. Hey, Kathy, it's good to see you again. Can I get you that gin and tonic? Or like we were talking about whiskeys. I know you said last time you really enjoyed the whiskeys.
Yes.
I think you tried the Horse Soldier, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we just talking about that. And when the next time you come in, I'm like, hey, can I grab you another pour? Or even more importantly, like listening and seeing your podcast and hearing about your family. I loved what one of the gentlemen here said, asking about your husband and asking about family and stuff like that.
Right.
That's what That's
what
what matters to people, you know?
Yes,
So,
like true connection,
yeah.
because we've been sold false enough.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you go on social media and everybody looks like it's like this facade of everybody's
Yes.
happy and this is what it is. But a place where you can go and just be real, like if
Yeah.
you've had a bad day, you could sit
Yeah.
down and be like, "Hey, Denny, I've had a terrible day." And
Yep.
you'd be like, "I got a drink for you."
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Well, and there's so
yeah,
many places in
right.
town you can go and get lost, you know, that
Mhm.
has, you know, a ton of TVs and
Mhm.
games and activities. You can get lost in the corner somewhere, but there's not a lot of places where you can go and you can sit down. It's not overly crowded. It's comfortable. It smells good. It's clean.
Mhm.
And you can literally just be amongst friends, you
Right.
know, so it's very comfortable. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, I know I just came to the Juneteenth social that you guys had put
Yeah.
together, and I'm telling you, it was amazing just to see. You know, we had just a few pop-up vendors. We had like 3 vendors there, which was great, and you guys had the jazz band
Yeah.
playing, and then
Yeah.
we also had another band on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just loved that. It was, I mean, people were flowing in and
Yeah.
celebrating. Why do events like that matter to you?
Oh gosh. So there's a couple things. I've had this question, you know, like what is Maze really all about? What's your identity? You know, obviously I just shared some of our core values, if you will, our vision values. More importantly, like the things that bring people together is, you know, family and friends. Obviously, they want to go somewhere. They want to gather together.
Mhm.
Food brings people together.
Yes.
Sports brings people together. I will tell you, like, sports brings our family together quite a bit. Every Chiefs game,
Yep.
Sundays are sacred, you know, for
Yeah.
us because we get to watch the Chiefs. We get to watch football. It's a relaxing day. But then also music. Music brings people together. I've been a drummer the majority of my life. I love music. I love all things music. And so events do all of those things.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we don't do events small. Like when we do
Oh,
an event, we
no.
do it big.
No,
So,
yeah, because I mean, from the front to the back, we had a
Yep.
band on the inside, and there was shopping on the inside. On outside, there was a cigar bar. You had the
Yeah.
cigars going.
Yep.
And then the wine or the whiskey flights. I'm so
Yep.
used to saying wine, but whiskey flights. I taste both. Isn't that normal? But
Yeah.
my brother got me into bourbon, and so I've switched up. You know, whiskey and bourbon pretty close, but you know,
Yeah.
they're close, which surprises me. But I try it, and everywhere I go, I'm up to trying something different. And
Good.
that was super smooth, super good. I loved being able to try and taste the different ones.
Yeah.
That was nice because sometimes you get a full pour of something you don't like, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
like, I
Yeah.
spent how much on this drink?
Yeah,
Whoa, no.
yeah. That whenever I do a tasting, it's like, okay, you get a little sample, and you're
Yeah.
like, do I like this? Well, it's
Mhm.
just enough to go, yeah, I want some more of that.
And the
So, yeah.
flights are nice too because it's like smaller pours of
Yeah.
each one.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I
Exactly.
love that. With Westport in Kansas City, what makes Westport special to you?
There's a lot of history behind Westport. You know, when we moved into the area, I did a lot of research on Westport. You know, looking into like the Battle of Westport and you know basically the foundation of where Kansas City kind of came from. And so I did a lot of history behind that. I looked into a lot of history behind our homes and our neighborhood. It was also interesting too because you know Westport is you know all of the spaces, if you will, down off of was that Main Street.
Right.
And then you have where we're at, which is just like it's still Westport, but it's just on the outside. And so we've connected with the West Plaza area, the Volker neighborhood. So we know a little bit of both of those, but it's right there on that outskirt. And so it's important because it's such a great little community, and there's really cute little small communities in each little section and little space. And so Westport has its thing, and it's kind of known for its thing. And then you have where we're at, just right there off of Westport Road in Roanoke area, where it really is that West Plaza kind of concept and that corridor that has all these really great little shops and tattoo artists and food and all the things. And in my opinion, I think there's two things that happen. I think it's kind of a hidden gem, if you will. I also think it's just kind of passed by. You know, like there's a lot of traffic comes out of Kansas because we're not far from state line there.
Right.
Going to Westport or going to the plaza. And so we just kind of get passed by a little bit. And then on the way back out, they pass by us again. But when they find us, when they find all of the little restaurants.
Mhm.
They find all the little shops up and down Westport Road there. They're like, holy smokes, this has been here? I didn't even know this was here, you know? And then they start coming back, and they start coming back, and they start coming back. So it's a cute little area. We love our neighborhood. We love our neighbors, that we all look out for each other. That's what I really value behind that.
Right.
Plus, it's walkable. Like, you can walk anywhere you want. You can go to, the coffee shop.
Mhm.
There's multiple coffee shops in the area there.
Yes, yes.
You can grab coffee. You can get a tattoo.
Mhm.
You,
Yeah.
you can do your laundry if you want. There's a couple really great little specific types of shops as well too. Like, there's a law office, but then there's great Mexican food. There's Italian food. There's a couple other little spots. We take our dog to one of the dog shops up the street from us. So
Mhm.
it's all right there. It's
That's
fantastic.
what I think is so cool about that little strip, right, where
Yep.
you're at, is
Yep.
there's just a touch of little everything, and I think you put it right. I think people drive by and it gets missed,
Yeah.
on the way in to Westport. What is one thing that you think people get wrong about Westport? Like, what do you think the big misconception? Do you think that some of that might be kind of going on, or?
I think when people hear Westport,
Mhm.
when we first bought the place, when people would hear Westport, they're like, "Oh, you're in Westport," and so they would identify us down where kind of all the clubs are at.
Mhm.
And that's a little bit of the reason why, we're just outside of Westport. We're in the West Plaza area, because then that's when people go, I don't even know that was a thing.
Mhm.
And so I think when people hear Westport, they hear it's young, it's clubby, it's maybe a little trouble, depending
Right.
upon,
Which
the
area
idea.
it
Yeah.
is, yeah.
But there's so many little areas outside of Westport you don't even know.
Right.
And a lot of people don't even realize it. And it's
Mhm.
kind of what's happening now in the city. You have all the fan fest, you have all the big things that are going on, and people are going to those for those experiences, and they're phenomenal. I've heard so many great things about them.
Right.
I want to go as well. But there's so many other little great spots just outside of that you can get
Yes.
to very quickly with public transportation. It's not too far of a walk if you're up for it, but you could also hit that and then do an Uber, and it's very inexpensive. So,
Mhm.
coming from the Northland or, North Kansas City down to the plaza and then taking a quick Uber up to multiple little shops in our area, it's not that hard. So I think that's the misconception,
Right.
is that it's hard to get to, or there's horrible parking, or,
Mhm.
because it has the Westport area behind it, is that it's going to be trouble. And honestly, knock on wood, we really don't have a lot of issues.
No,
You
no,
know,
not at all. I never have through there
yeah,
either. And I think, and I'm hoping even through Be Life Changers and this podcast,
yeah,
I can bring out a lot of those small businesses like yourself,
yeah,
because
yeah,
there's so many, like you said, in Westport, there is so many small businesses that I think
yeah,
just get overlooked, like drive right by.
yeah,
And it is hard. You're driving and you're thinking about getting to work, or, going to where you're going. And so sometimes we don't get to, you're driving by so quick, and of course having to watch the traffic because of the
right, right,
road, you don't always get to see some of the places to the left and right of you.
yeah,
And there's so many hidden gems
yep,
all over Kansas City.
yeah,
We are so blessed with so many small businesses.
yeah,
And so I just hope that, even this podcast gives a light to, and people come and see
yeah,
it and experience and know, because May's Tavern is just amazing.
I
For
appreciate that.
sure, for sure. One thing I love is that we're not just hosting events, but we're creating experiences and bringing people together. That's what
hmm
both of us do.
Yeah,
And so I love how we're coming together and going to be doing some things here in the future.
yes,
I kind of laughed when we got together and we came up with some ideas, and then Monique and I kind of passed those
hmm
back to you. What did you think when you heard us say the murder mystery pop-up? What was your first impression?
So it was funny because I saw it and I was like, oh, that's going to be really cool. And then I told my wife, and she goes, that'll be interesting. And I said, yeah, I think it will be, but I mean, like, these are things that no one in our area has done.
Mhm.
I don't know if do you know the author, and he's big on leadership, Simon Sinek.
The name sounds familiar.
Okay, so he does a number of different books, and they're fantastic, and I'll recommend a few of them for you. But
Mhm.
he always talks about challenging the status quo
Mhm.
and never settling for less than what you
Mhm.
deserve. And
Right.
so my big thing is I like challenging that status quo. Yeah, we're a bar. Yeah, we're a restaurant. And there's a lot of people look at me and they go, we do it this way. And I'm like, that's cool, but I'm going to do it my way.
Mhm.
and it's not that my way is right, and it's not the way my way is wrong,
Mhm.
but it is a way that is different. And does it work? Will it
Mhm.
work? And I think that we've proven the events that we've put on have worked really well
Mhm.
to bring people together. And we've seen positive vibes behind that, and partnering with the right people to
Right.
bring more people in to see that is really kind of where we're pushing in now.
Mhm.
And I think the murder mystery idea, it's a theme. I love the
Mhm.
idea of a theme.
Right.
We have an event this Saturday. It's a big theme.
Okay. All right.
It's a little bit of a fundraiser as well, not to
Mhm.
shamelessly plug, but
Right. No, that's fine. Go
um,
ahead.
anyway, there's themes behind that. So I think people buy into the theme kind
Right, right.
of
I think
concept.
everybody's seeking an experience as
Yeah,
well. And that's what Monique and I have
yeah,
found. We do more elevated events. So, like I'm known to have all my events in castles, mansions, golf clubs, wineries. That's what I was known
yeah,
for when I did the event side of things. Now that I've let Monique kind of take over, she loves that same idea of keeping it up and going. So when we
yeah,
saw it, we were like, oh, this would be something cool that would be a
yeah,
little bit different.
yeah,
Because it's going to be a little bit different. We
yeah.
know that, but we are partnering with someone who they're very good at doing all the like game tables and gamer stuff and
Love.
like Dungeons and Dragons, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and they do all the role playing.
Oh,
So,
cool, cool,
so we're
cool.
bringing them in to kind of they'll be like characters walking around helping
Nice.
with it. So
Yeah.
it's not going to be like people are confused or anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then you'll have your pop up shopping and the great, amazing food that you already have and
Amazing.
the space that you already have.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
be looking for that, guys. It's going to be October 11th.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so be looking for that. We'll give more details later, but we'll just kind of give a sneak peek
Yeah,
right
a little
now.
sneak
Like,
peek for
yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, and another thing that we have that we do together is giving back through community. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and so that's kind of like we have that coming up with our Friendsgiving that we're going to do
Yeah.
with you in November.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't even know if you know this part, but that happens to end up on my son's birthday.
Oh,
Gabriel's
nice.
birthday is on the 15th of November.
Okay.
And so we're going to do a big give back thing. So we'll be talking about, and I'll talk to you more about like any places that you want to, keep in the mix of that
Yeah.
for giving back. But Gabriel Gives is the big thing. He goes around and makes sure that he shows his local love by sharing from one business to another. And so, or he'll go back in the community and nonprofit and help there, like hanging up clothes or whatever. And then we
Yeah.
use the social media to shout out what they need.
Nice.
And so with that, he's our little influencer. So he goes around. So he'll be joining us that day for that event.
Love that.
And we're
Yeah.
going to pick one place, which we'll do that together, of
Okay.
course.
Okay.
But so be thinking about it
Okay.
because we don't know yet so we're not going to announce who it is, but somebody's going to be really special because we're going to give back and have everybody comes that day bring to that cause.
Okay.
Gabriel, I thought, was his birthday. We might as well just hype this up, and let him experience that as well. Because,
Amazing.
I mean, I feel like that fits with Maze perfectly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so perfectly. So we're getting excited about that event as well. And I know you have many more events coming up too.
Oh, God. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Watch parties and...
Yeah, I mean, like you said, FIFA's in town. We have been opening just about every day around 2:00 for the early games that are on. And we're pushing those obviously. We partner with a singles group in town.
Okay.
They come out usually 2 times a month.
Mm-hmm.
If you're single, hit me up, but not hit
Yeah.
me up, but come
Yeah,
to the bar.
I know what you mean. That's good.
You can
That's
come and
great.
enjoy. Yeah,
Wife wouldn't like
my
that.
wife wouldn't
No,
like that.
I
Yeah, no,
know.
don't hit me up because she'll hit me.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so the singles groups are amazing. That's another way to give back to the community and really bring people together. It also brings people in from all across the city. But we do a music bingo night. We do trivia every Thursdays. So we're always
Love it.
constantly doing something.
So yeah, definitely come support. There's things to do all the time. Where can they follow you at?
Yeah, Maze Tavern on Instagram is usually the biggest one. We're constantly posting every day on our stories about things that are happening, new specials that are happening. A lot of different things on our actual page, talking through different events, different things that are going to be going on. So yeah, Maze Tavern on Instagram, Maze Tavern on TikTok as well. We're on Facebook as well, Maze Tavern.
Maze Tavern.
Yeah, it's all on there. So we've tried to keep it simple. And then mazeTavern.com is our
Awesome.
website. So MaesTavern. Mays Tavern. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we're going to do something a little fun before
Okay.
we close out today.
Love it.
I call it my rapid fire.
All right.
So this is going to help people know when they come in some things to try, okay?
All right.
So your favorite menu item.
Oh,
He's like, what?
I love the spicy chicken bites. I know that's not like an entree, but the spicy chicken bites are a favorite go-to of mine and so many other people's that come in.
I love it. Spicy. I'm going to have to try those. I haven't
Okay.
tried those yet, so I got to
All
try
right.
them. Most underrated menu item.
Oh, gosh. In my opinion, I think that would probably be the ham and cheese melt that we have. We
Okay.
just added it. I had these two young ladies that came in the other day and they tried it and she was like, holy smokes, that was the best sandwich I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is
Love
the
it.
most underrated for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Customer's favorite.
We do a lot of burgers. We do a lot of really good burgers. Yeah,
Okay.
our bacon cheeseburgers are number one sandwich seller. That or possibly the patty melt and Reuben would be probably tied second. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Favorite drink on the menu.
Okay, I'm a beer guy, so I love Kona or
Mm-hmm.
Blue Moon, but we do have some new cocktails getting ready to release too. So
Awesome.
the girls are always constantly keeping me drunk. I'm just kidding, not really drunk, but they're always keeping me
You gotta try it.
testing
It's like
thing.
a
I always got to
testing
test
thing.
the new
Like,
cocktails.
oh my
yeah.
gosh, I got to
So,
test them. Well, I'm
yeah.
going to come in and test the new
Come
ones.
on in.
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
we'll schedule a testing day. Y'all can come in and try it. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite thing about Westport.
Access. I mean, you can really get to it from
Mhm.
anywhere you go. You're especially our location because right there next to the Country Club Plaza. We're right there next to all the little great homes from the Volker and West Plaza area. But then Prairie Village Mission is all right there as well. I mean, we're literally within 10 to 15 minutes of almost anywhere you want to come from.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about Kansas City.
I'm a big sports guy. I've lived here. I grew up here in Kansas City. So my favorite thing about it is sports. We are a sports town. We are a baseball and football town, and people rally around it. And it's really great to see the community come together for those.
Yes,
Yeah.
isn't
and,
it? And yeah, especially
and
right
now it's soccer.
Yes,
So,
I was
yeah.
going to say right now, you're really feeling it, and I hope we just keep on with that.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about Mays Tavern.
It is my home away from home. I spend a lot of time there, and it's
Mhm.
comfortable. That's my favorite thing for me as someone
Right.
that does go to other bars and does go out and hang out with friends and stuff. That is one of my favorite
Awesome.
things about it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode of Be Life Changers. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this conversation is that every person has a story, every person has value, and every person has the ability to make a difference. You don't have to change the whole world overnight. You can change it one day at a time. Be that encouragement, be that connection, and be the reason to keep going on. Until next time, I'm Kathy Coates, and remember your purpose, His plan in business and in life.